Hello, darlings. It's Grandma Bunny here, talking about interrupting. We're going to be looking at some lovely books by Joy Berry and illustrated by John Costanza. They are Let's Talk About series, and I thought you might like some really judgy kinds of things to look at. Interrupting. You'll notice it looks like it's backwards because it is. Let's talk about interrupting. I wish he would stop interrupting me. Woo woo wee wee wee. Look, she's trying to concentrate, isn't she? You are interrupting when you do something that makes it difficult for people to think. He's making so much noise that I can't think. Who else has somebody like that running round their house? So annoying, isn't it? You are interrupting when you do something that causes people to stop what they are doing. Hey, what are you doing? I am trying to read. There's a dog over the fence that keeps interrupting. It's naughty. Do you like my hair? Especially got it in me curlers today. Try and tame some of this fuzzy grandma hair. You are interrupting when you talk when other people are talking. So if somebody else is having a conversation, you need to make sure that you're listening, not interrupting. Do you know what you'd say if you needed to interrupt somebody? You'd say, "Excuse me." This is a good book. It's all about, the last book I read was all about a boy who blah, 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 blah. Not listening, interrupting. When someone interrupts you, how do you feel? What do you think? What do you do? I don't like the way he always interrupts me. Blah, blah, blah. I know lots of people like that, do you? When someone interrupts you, you may feel frustrated and angry. You may think, I do not enjoy being around this person. Or you may decide to stay away from the person. You know what? I used to do that. I used to avoid people so that I didn't have to spend time with them. Now I just don't be friends. It's easier. Excuse me, but I really must go. It is important to treat other people the way you want to be treated. If you do not want others to interrupt you, you must not interrupt them. Did you know that? Dad looks pretty busy. I think I'll wait until he is finished before I ask him to play with me. What else could you do? You could say, Dad, can I help? Try not to interrupt people who are thinking or trying to do something. Avoid talking to them. Do not make noises that would bother them. That's a good idea, isn't it? Mum looks like she's super concentrating, and this is completely making judgment about whether Dad would be outside and Mum would be inside, isn't it? Do not do things that would distract them. Mum is not finished with her work. I'll just wait and talk to her later. That's a good idea. Try not to interrupt people who are talking to you. Allow them to finish talking before you speak. Say, excuse me if you must interrupt them. Now that's a good idea. And so we went over to Patty's house and look, she's listening, isn't she? She's actively listening to her friend talking. She's looking at her. She's got her mouth closed and both of her ears listening. Or if you don't have ears that work like hearing people, your eyes are working extra hard while they sign to you. Try not to interrupt people who are talking to each other. Do not talk with them or listen to what they are saying unless they want you to do so. Kids, this is a good one for you and lots of adults who like to listen to other people's conversations and then pass on the information. Do not get in between people who are talking to each other and say, "Excuse me," if you must interrupt people who are talking. Can you think of some times when that might be the case? It might be your mum with friends, or it might be your dad or nan, or it might be a teacher or other friends who are having a conversation, and you need to think and wait and say, "Excuse me. Excuse me, I'm sorry to bother you, but someone wants to talk to you on the phone." Now that's a good way of interrupting, isn't it? Try not to interrupt people who are talking on the telephone. Now, how old is this? Because our telephones aren't plugged into the wall anymore, are they? Well, some of them are, but most of them are mobile. Avoid talking to them. Do not do anything that would make it difficult for them to hear. Do not do anything that would make it difficult for them to think about what they are doing. How many adults know what it feels like to have to try and think while people are yelling at you while you're on the phone? It's a little bit frustrating. I was going to ask Dad a question, but I'll wait until he is finished talking on the phone. Some good points in here, aren't there? Try not to interrupt people who are listening to something. Hope that's not anything more than just a croaky throat. Or watching TV. Avoid talking to them. Do not make noises that would make it difficult for them to listen. There's a theme going on, isn't there? Avoid talking to them. Don't be making noises that makes it difficult for them to hear or think. Do not change the channels on the TV unless they want you to do so. So it's making sure that the people you are wanting to interrupt want you to do so. So checking, isn't it? It's called polite manners. Do not get between them and the TV. I guess this is aimed at for those people who think that they are windows and not doors. Whose parents or grandparents say to them, "You'd make a better door than a window because I can't see through you." Since he is watching TV in this room, I'll listen to my tape recorder in my bedroom. Who can spot the olden days points in here? Who would listen to their tape recorder now? Just old people. Now you'd probably listen to Spotify or something else online. Try not to interrupt people who are watching a movie or a performance. If you must pass in front of others to get to your seat, do so quickly and quietly. Do not talk loudly or make other disturbing noises. Eat your food neatly and privately if eating is permitted. Now we're talking about the movie theatre, aren't we? And the noisy little grommets that come and sit near you and talk and chit-chat and look at their phones and bugger eyes around. And they could just sit there quietly and enjoy the movie. Don't mind the odd laugh and the crunching of some popcorn and stuff. But really, if you've got to have a conversation, go out. Do not hit or kick the seat in front of you or beside you, and don't put your feet up at the back of people's heads. If possible, stay seated until the movie or performance is over, unless you're going to wet your pants. And then please get up and go. I wish I hadn't invited John to the movie. Never again. Look, see some blah, blah, blaring in the middle. Try not to interrupt people who are resting or sleeping. If possible, stay away from them. Be as quiet as you can so that you will not disturb them, especially if it's Grandma Bunny, 'cause I need my beauty sleep, you know. Mum and Dad need their rest. I'll be as quiet as I can so that I will not wake them. I know, can't get like this not having beauty sleeps. No one likes to be interrupted. If you do not want people to interrupt you, you should not interrupt them. Thank you for not interrupting us. And look at that. The dog didn't interrupt us. Yay! Small miracles. Thanks for joining Grandma Bunny and talking about interrupting. Next time we'll have Let's Talk About Teasing. Have a super day, and I'm sending lots and lots of love out to you people. Mwah. Enjoy, gorgeous.